The following is a paid program sponsored by Get Elevated. Please be advised that the voices and opinions you hear do not necessarily represent the views of KUNV Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education.
Please note that while we will cover a multitude of topics, including many alleged health benefits, all information provided should be considered anecdotal and informational. Please consult with your physician before adding cannabis to your medical regimen. Cannabis is for adults 21 years of age and older. Also, paid sponsorships are not to be misconstrued as preferred or favored by the host. In any way, they are merely that, paid sponsorships. Good morning, happy Saturday. Welcome to another episode of Get Elevated with Gia, self-proclaimed G-Money. The episode is called Cannabis and Discovering Your Path. And yet, we've talked a lot about a lot of things, and we're going to pick up where we left off with Rick Karmokar.
Karmokar.
Dang it.
That was the second time. It's all right.
Karmokar. You know what, though? I think my name is better for you. That usually happens.
Or just Rick. Just leave it at Rick, you know.
I've not said your
No,
name.
I actually like the way I said it.
Yeah?
I'm going to stick with that one.
Erik Peterson.
It's not correct, but that's fine.
I don't think
My way's better. My way's better.
She is a character.
Do you know
She is
what?
quite the character.
Do you know what? I had Derek on from Planet 13. And I was calling him Derek Guzman.
No, you were not.
Totally. And he's like, it's Goom. And I'm like, I know that. But my way is
Guzman.
better. Derek Guzman. It's going to catch on.
Look at you playing it off.
Here's the thing, though, guys. I don't care. I don't care that I get things wrong. I think that's what makes me human. Like, I would love to pretend that I scoped all your LinkedIn, your Instagram. I knew about where your childhood home was. I don't know. I barely remembered your last names. What I know is I see your heart and your soul, and I want to light that up when we talk. And I love discovering, and I love being wrong.
I dig that.
I really do. Like, I don't know everything. I don't watch the news like people should. I don't know the current rates about this or that. I just know what I know.
That's an interesting thought. You love being wrong.
Well, I love being honest about being wrong. Like, maybe
You're
at
humble
a
about
younger age, I might have been like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Now I said your name wrong. I'm sorry, Rick.
Yeah.
You know how much I adore you.
Let's keep it pushing.
When have I ever said your last name out loud?
Never. This is the first time you did like
That's
3
what I'm
times.
saying. And 2 out of 3 was wrong. But I love you.
It's okay. It's all love.
And I think that's part of my charm, guys.
Definitely is.
All right, enough of that. We're back. We're talking about discovering your path and whatnot. But we ended that last show with some very cool stuff. We were talking about cannabis as relates to meditation. That led into running and stillness. Do we need it or not? And then we started talking about cannabis and writing and other ways that cannabis can help you discover a path to the next thing, or a path to enlightenment, or a path to a solution, or a path to discovering something about yourself. I think it just opens up all the doors. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Definitely.
100%. I would not be sitting in this chair right now in this beautiful studio with beautiful Gia and my man. Oops,
I was about to say
and
beautiful
my man.
Rick. I was like,
Nah.
wait.
Well, you are a beautiful man.
He is a beautiful man.
And
You are
my
beautiful.
beautiful man Rick here.
We're all
If it
beautiful
was
people.
not for cannabis,
Tell me more.
my whole career, my whole everything. As soon as I graduated college, my life has been dedicated to cannabis.
Wow. I think she picks us as like soldiers, because there are people that like work in cannabis, like, yeah.
It's a job for them.
Right. And then there's people like us who like it gets us
It's our
through
lives,
all the
yeah.
stuff because like our reverence for this plant. It's pretty epic. Unlike any other industry that I know,
No, absolutely. And it's been part of my life for so long that it's like what I'm good at and what I know, most
I have a
about.
question about that, because I have only really been smoking since 3 years ago. When I dabbled. I went to the ER and that didn't end well,
We need to hear the story still.
Well, here's the story. I was out with people that I didn't like. I was working with them. It was a work dinner, and I didn't like any of them. Okay. So I drank like a whole bottle of wine over the course of the meal. And then we went outside to catch cabs, and someone was smoking a cigarette. I'm like, you know what? Pass me that. I don't smoke cigarettes. But I was just like, bleh. And then some guy was like, hey, man, I got some weed. I was like, you know what? Tonight's the night I'm doing this. And dude, I didn't know what I was like 4 times around. And then I went in the bathroom and I was like, I did not know anything was happening. My face was melting off. My heart rate was like busting through my carotid. I was like, poof, you could see it. And I walked out and I was like, and I didn't like it. So I was like, I did everything wrong. The wrong setting. I drank alcohol and combined it with that. Like having a medical background, I was like, I know my heart rate. Like they're like, you're fine. I'm like, okay, maybe, but like I know this is beating like 200.
Yeah.
So you might think that's fine, but like this ain't right. And you know they were like kind of making fun of me, and I was like, I'm tired. It just spiraled, and then I couldn't like text on the phone. I was trying to reach my boyfriend. He was laughing at me like, no, not helping. And
Not
then
taking you seriously. He's like, you're just high.
Correct. And now that I know what that's like, you know, I would still have compassion because you do feel a certain type of way. So I went to the ER because I thought I was going to stroke out, you know. And they're like, you know, Mrs. Kubik, have you had any, you know, substance? I was like, I thought I was going to go to jail. I was like, yeah, I did. I had some marijuana. Right. And they were laughing, of course, you know. And then like I was like stripping down. Like it was all fun and games for me with the EKGs. And I'm just like, and then the doctor with the lecture, like, you know, Mrs. Kubik, you shouldn't be. I'm like, yeah, dude, I know. Am I going to die?
Yeah.
He's like, no. But they were checking to see if it was laced, and it was not. So $1,300 worth of labs later.
Oh
but my heart rate did take 4 hours to come down.
It's the most expensive joint.
Some crazy sativa.
I'm telling you. Thank God for insurance. But I say all that to say that, like, it's interesting how a plant can spin you out.
So can we talk about your second experience?
Yes.
So at what point did you like it? Because obviously you didn't like it after your first time, right?
No. But I had people in my circle that I was like, dang, I really like her. Like, she's on her, on her stuff. And when I found out she used cannabis, like, what? She must be. Like, if she's using it, I got to try it. Simply because of her reputation and my friendship. And then even in the rocky times, I had glimmers of like this euphoria. I was like, wow. And it would like put me, I do like psilocybin. I enjoy.
I was just about to ask you, do you do psilocybin?
Yeah. That ceremony is a regular part of my life with the plant medicines, all of them. I've done Aya twice.
Nice.
3 times actually. Yeah.
Did you go to Peru?
No, it was an illegal place that I did it. It was not Peru.
We can talk about that too.
Well, Aya, let's talk about it because I'm a huge fan of all these experiences of expansion. And I think that cannabis being the OG God plant, like, she doesn't play. She's merciless. Like, if you got stuff going on, she's going to find it and put it in your face to deal with it. And that's what people say, I can't smoke. It makes me anxious. Like, okay, what, we going to run? It's not easy to face your shadow side, as I would say, but you guys say more. I don't want to take the floor on this.
Well,
but talk more about Aya, the plants. Bring it on, because cannabis is integrating all of that.
No, absolutely. And I was just going to ask you, because I know a lot of people, outsiders of the cannabis plant, say, you know, it's a gateway drug. So do you think that you would have tried ayahuasca and DMT and mushrooms if you had not been open to cannabis? Because this is a good, like...
Yeah, that's interesting. I actually did those first.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, because you just started
plant
smoking
medicine
years.
became
Wow.
a part of my life in
never
2015.
smoked? That's crazy.
I did, and I was at this meditation, and then I was like, "What are we doing here?" I just was at a broken moment in my life, and then I was like, "Just sign me up. I'll come."
Were you searching for answers, or is this something that you sought out? Or?
No, I was just like, I don't know. So much is going on, man. Like I've tried everything, like, and I didn't go because it was expensive. I had heard about it, but I was like, I don't have that kind of money. And then I was like, I don't care how much it is, I'm showing up.
Yeah.
And that work became a part of my life. So, and then cannabis, I learned that it's like, it can mimic psilocybin. It can mimic MDMA. It can mimic, they say Aya. I don't think so, but maybe it's super high THC. But I find it to be like combo or 5-MeO. Like these are integrative, all together. Yeah. That's my fascination with that. What's your experience with that? With those other plants?
I haven't done ayahuasca. I've done DMT.
Okay. The NN-DMT, the 15-minute.
Yes.
Crazy. How was that?
It was an amazing experience. I recommend it to anybody and everybody that I speak, we should have conversations with.
Well, let me ask you this as it relates to that real quick. I hear people all the time, like, I have DMT pens. I
hear about that too recently.
I
super
worry,
popular now.
Right, but I also, like, as much as I recommend DMT as an experience, the casual nature of it concerns me.
Yeah, I hear that.
And maybe that's just me being a mom, being a grown up. Like, this is not a small thing.
Right.
No, I don't think it should be used like that. I think it should be
right. But you hear, it feels casual sometimes for people.
Yeah, and that could be fine. I don't think that that's what it's intended for.
Right.
But that's just my opinion on it.
Right.
Maybe people find peace and
maybe it's just me having a rigidity around it.
Taking hits of DMT. But I think it's a very spiritual experience.
Yes.
I think it should be planned and it should be in a comfortable setting. I don't think you should just be like walking around like, oh, I'm just hitting DMT, because I think that's not, like I said, it's not what it's intended for. I think it can be so much more powerful than just putting in a pen and just kind of puffing. I think it should be a whole experience.
Yeah. Can you share yours?
Yeah, I mean, I was by myself. I don't like having outside forces.
Okay.
I dabbed it off a dab. Really, it was just a visual pleasure that I was getting. It was very intense.
Is it comparable to like mushrooms?
No, not. I wouldn't compare it to mushrooms. I think that definitely taps into your psyche. I think it opens up a lot of things. I think you could potentially find answers if you're searching for them.
Sure, if that was part of your intention. Yeah.
I think even if it's not your intention, you might find some things or get some type of realization or perspective from it. I don't think you should do it all the time. But for me, my experience was amazing. And it was, 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
Really,
wheels up, wheels down.
Yeah,
Done.
really intense. And then afterwards, I cooked dinner and I had a great day. But it was
Did you
just
feel hungry after? Really hungry?
Not like particularly.
Okay.
Not particularly. I just kind of was like, it was intense and then it was gone. And I saw some, again, like just amazing visuals that is hard to describe. But and then I just kind of think about that, my experience, and kind of like, what is the meaning behind this? What were these images that I was seeing? Why was this being shown to me at this point in my life? And I think if you are at a crossroads or if you're in a bad place, it could be a really good tool.
Setting, intention, all of these medicines, you have to find legal, smart, safe, trusted sources, because that's where the problems occur, when people start to commoditize things and then
and I think it definitely could be
taking these sacred medicines.
Absolutely. I don't think they're intended to be abused. But I think it's really big, and especially in our society and in our country. It's
well, we just want the answers. We don't want to do the integration in between these types of experiences, and that's why cannabis can become an ally or it can become a crutch. She can be a beautiful integration to anything that's going on in your life, or any of these other medicines, especially psilocybin. How well they work together. In fact, I had a guy on here who was with the Rastafarian and doing a ceremony where they get, basically super high and then take the psilocybin, which is like, whoo, that's a, pretty big experience.
Do you ever smoke while you're?
Not at the peak experience, no.
Oh, okay.
After it's sort of on the down, and it can potentiate it, so you have to be careful with that.
I've actually
it can potentiate you, and I went into like alternate realities. I was like, y'all ain't seeing this.
Now for a quick word from our sponsors. From the chief lobbyist of Matos Consulting, Jay is spearheading a new bill for consumption lounges. Jay is passionate about alternative places to consume cannabis, so our city and the Strip can remain family-friendly.
I've actually been experimenting with microdosing and running.
Well, I wanted to talk about flow state.
Okay.
Because flow state, you guys are familiar. Erik, you shook your head, yeah. So my knowing of it is, and this is the work of Jamie Wheel and Stephen Kotling. They wrote the book Stealing Fire and Becoming Superman. More books, I'm sure. And they study flow state, like when you're a runner and you're in that zone, athletes, artists, things like that. And research on it, there's like 5 neurotransmitters that are elevated at the same time that give you that feeling where the default mode network is shut off. So you're not judging, you're just like really, So that's flow state. So when you exercise, when you drink coffee and then you smoke in that order, that puts you into flow state. So you are dabbling with that already.
Yeah, I feel like it gives me a little bit of like euphoric energy, when I'm microdosing. Obviously, I'm not seeing as much of like colors or anything like that.
Well, you wouldn't.
But everything, but everything else definitely is a lot more in HD. I feel like it's helping me.
You're more in touch, right?
Yeah, I feel like why I've been experimenting with things with running is more so because when I'm running, I feel like I'm able to see a lot of flaws in myself or challenge
the
myself.
Self-judgment, the self-critic,
and that kind of goes hand in hand with that,
Yes,
so,
it really does. And microdosing sort of opens up the mind just a little bit.
I'm learning a lot.
Just a little bit.
I'm learning, I feel like, mentally.
That's why I think I'm probably supposed to do energy work on you.
Yeah,
See, you're tapping in.
We need to make that happen.
Yeah,
for sure.
you're tapping in.
I guess you can say you get elevated.
Yeah.
Get elevated. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a dad. That's a bad dad joke.
No, that's a great dad joke. Okay. I don't want you to feel good about it. Dadder days. Oh, this is so fascinating. My birthday gift was an opportunity to smoke 5-MeO DMT.
Wow.
And that was by far the most powerful experience of my life, aside from birthing. So it's the birthing my son and then that.
That's awesome.
And
what if you birthed the son while
Oh
on
my God,
DMT?
that sounds like
don't.
that's
Well, there is a birthing that's going on energetically, because what happens is it's your ego is completely obliterated and there is no you. And then essentially the experience is not the mind-blowing thing itself, it's the integration after. And cannabis has such a beautiful potentiation to 5-MeO, potentially the NN-DMT too, I'm not certain. And where you might have used, the 6-8, 6-8-10. What was I'm a 2-4?
2-4.
I'm a 2-4 hit.
2-4.
Now it might be a 1-2 hit.
Yeah.
Because the
Okay.
potentiation, and I think that all of these medicines as well certainly work with your frequency,
Yeah, for sure.
right? So we're all frequency. So it's navigating these medicines to adjust to the frequency essentially of love, magic, and miracles. That's where we attract all the things that we want, right? And that's how cannabis really does help discover the path. For you, we're all sitting here. We're all living our best lives right now because of cannabis as part, not the only reason. We got kids and partners and things like that. Well, you do. We don't.
Yeah.
Just to point out. Okay, let's talk more about writing. Do you write?
I do not.
Oh, you mentioned it. I wasn't sure if that was
I'm just saying that's a form of meditation for many people.
It really
Definitely
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, playing music is a form of meditation for many people.
100. What do you like to listen to when you meditate?
I'm more of like a softer kind of vibe. I don't like to have words because I think it kind of
I
clouds
get that.
my
I totally
brain.
get
So,
that. Yes.
more just softer. Sometimes it's ocean sounds. Sometimes it's like a I wouldn't say like jazz, but just
I'll
softer
throw some
music.
classical music in there, dude. Every once in a while,
Classical music. That's kind of what I'm on. Or I
Sure.
just like to be silent and just be
Yeah.
with myself.
Yeah, I love that. I love learning all this about you, Erik. I have a question though. My fear about if I smoke all the time, then one day I just won't feel it anymore. The tolerance thing, you guys have been on it for a long time. It's a real thing?
I've taken tolerance breaks before.
And it works. You can really
For
reset.
Sure. There was I mean the longest break I ever took was I want to say about 3 months, and I smoked a bowl actually out of a pipe, and I was lit. I was very, very high.
Wow. Okay. So
Lit's a term that the youngsters
Yeah.
use nowadays.
did you just say youngsters? I'm going to kick you so far across this.
You got to catch me first, though.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. Make fun of the foot. Make fun of the foot. Mhm. Okay. So is there anything we want to talk about as far as finding a cannabis career path? People think this is such a glamorized business. And I've talked about this on a couple episodes, so I don't want to belabor it, but
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people, like you're saying, a lot of people think of cannabis, we're just sitting around smoking weed all day.
Yep.
Rick and I both know that that's not the case. I know you know that.
Not at all.
You're an absolute killer in the industry, very well respected. I don't
Thank
think you
you.
get to that point by
No.
just sitting around
No.
smoking weed. So I know there is action, there is
Yeah.
production there. I think, like I said, a lot of people think that it's just that. They don't really see it's a booming business, and we have real job titles that are
That's
very
right.
applicable from other industries. I think there's a ton of turnover in the industry because I think people just think
yes.
that they're going to be sitting around smoking weed all day when it's like, oh no, it's actually time to work.
When my friends have, I have friends that have the misconception of, you work with weed, how hard can your job be? But I tell them more so we are a very high demand, very busy retail store. That's more so the aspect to look at it.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, just with getting in the industry, I have a lot of people that reach out to me. It's like, man, you're so lucky. You're so
Right.
lucky to be in here. I'm like, well, when I graduated college 2014, that was the same year Colorado went recreational.
Okay.
So I packed up my car and drove from California to Colorado with $200 in my pocket
I love that
and
story.
slept on my friend's couch and worked for him and did packaging and did the most grunt work possible.
Sure.
At a grow?
It was at a production facility, extracts. And so I don't think that that's lucky. I was just willing to take that
You were
leap.
willing. Yes.
So a lot of people see that and oh, you're lucky to be in this position. It's like, hey, are you willing to
had to
uproot
work
your
for it.
entire
Right.
life
Yeah.
I did that.
for
Totally.
this? Because that's what I did.
You know what
And-
I'm thinking? I don't often remind myself this, but so my son was still at home. He wasn't at college yet. I left him. And you guys already know me a little bit. You know how much I'm in love with this kid. I left him to pack up and leave first to go to the West Coast with as much as I could put in my Jeep Grand Cherokee because I kept the vision proper so I could see.
Okay.
And drove with a good friend from Chicago in a snowstorm.
Wow. Dedication.
Right. And I had no issue dragging around this case, doing my own pop-ups. I treated everyone like an open mic. I had so much fun. And people are like, you did your own pop-ups? Like, yeah, I did all of it.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
All of it. And never was it a question. I never wanted to look back. And I think when people, this happens so much, I'll get like a LinkedIn, like, oh, I really like to work in the cannabis industry. Can you chat? I'm like, well, hold up. Hold up. What have you done? Like, have you looked up anything? Have you done any research?
There's a whole language that comes with this industry.
Right, like there's a whole thing called Google. Like, I'm not going to be your, so tell me about the industry.
Yeah,
no. That frustrates me because I remember like hunting down the people at Green Thumb Industries. Like I would go on their LinkedIn profiles, memorize their faces. So when I went to an
You were
event,
telling me that.
I would go up and be like, hey, how you, because like, I'm not playing here.
Yeah.
I was dedicated.
Awesome.
Creepy. I'm a salesperson. I
don't think that's something that you can teach. I think that's just
you're
like
right.
something inside of you that has like that mentality that you're going to reach your goals.
It's so creepy when I think about it. Totally. It was like, that's what I get what I want.
Yeah.
So I have to do the work to get there.
And there's so many different aspects of the industry, talking about like reeling it back in, talking about discovering your path. There's so many different aspects of the industry that you can be a part of. You know,
right.
I work in marketing. You know, I mean, these are skills that are applicable to any industry.
Right.
You know, I just happen to love cannabis, so I'm really good at
What a
cannabis
dream,
marketing.
huh?
But there's, I mean, Rick's in inventory. That's applicable for many different industries, retail, production, manufacturing, cultivation. There's so many different paths that you can pick. It's really about getting yourself, you know, getting your feet wet, getting into the industry, being humble enough to take some of the
grunt work.
Crap. Can we say crappy?
We could say crappy.
Crappy jobs.
We could say poopy.
To really know what you like
Totally.
and see which lane, because
That's
you
right.
might say, oh, I want to work in weed. And you go work at a cultivation facility. It's like, yo, you're a hermit.
Right.
In this grow, you're not going to
Right.
see many people,
You
and you're going to
smell
be
all
with
day.
the plants. So you better really love
That's right.
that.
And ask yourself, what's your why?
What's your why? Exactly.
Because if you just think it's like a cool buck, like,
like, why are
we
you
all
doing
took pay
this?
cuts. Well,
Definitely.
you know,
Definitely.
he's like, well, 100,000% on.
Yeah, some people.
Yeah. We digress, though. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
I'm not in the industry to make money.
Right.
You know, I'm here for the experience and for the networking because it's something I love to do. It doesn't really feel like a job. You know,
And
even though there's times where we get frustrated and because we're so
Sure.
passionate about what we do and our work and our reputation and
Yes.
all of those things. But if I was super worried about money, I don't know if I would be, you know,
Sure.
where I'm at
I get
today.
it.
Not necessarily. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like, you're not going to get rich by working for somebody else's company.
Yeah. Well, in life,
You know
like,
what I mean?
the, you know,
And then everyone has a different perspective of what
Yeah.
rich or wealthy means. You know, it could be.
let's talk about that.
It could be monetary. A lot of people think of wealth and rich as monetary, but you know, I look at it as like your time, because time is the most valuable thing we have on the planet. So we can't buy more time.
No, we can't.
You can always buy another car. You can always buy more things. You can
Yeah.
always buy, I mean, people buy friends and, you know, relationships and all different things, but you can't buy more time. So really, like, someone that's wealthy is someone that has their utmost free time to do whatever they please. And if they choose to use their time to dedicate it to someone else's business or work in cannabis, then that's a wealthy person to me.
I like that.
Support for Get Elevated with Gia is provided by Curaleaf. With 2 locations in Las Vegas and 1 in Ely, Nevada, Curaleaf specializes in cannabis products ranging from edibles to flower. More information is available at curaleaf.com. Curaleaf, Nevada. Cannabis with confidence. Keep out of reach of children. For use by adults 21 years of age and older.
Yeah. What about you, Rick? What's your definition of rich versus wealthy?
Like, realistically, I think you should be able to afford the lifestyle you want to live. So there is work that's going to come behind that. But I think, you know, as long as, you know, you're enjoying the experiences that you're living in your life, and, you know, experiencing with your loved ones, and you're able to fund that lifestyle with whatever you're doing, that's what matters.
Right. Then I think about what is wealth to me. And it's like, I just had like all this surgery, and like, I think I can walk on this thing already. Like, I'm so healthy. And so that you really start to redefine wealth.
More so like health and happiness, right?
Yeah.
That's
And then
really
like,
what it comes down to.
right. I had, my family was out helping with the surgery, and we were out. I have this Bob Marley rug, and I lay it in my backyard, and my mother and her husband, he's 81, 82. And I had cans out, and I smoked, which I never would have done in front of my mother in earlier years, because I was afraid that she'd judge me. But I'm like, hey, this is me. This is me. You're going to love me. This is me. And I passed it to him because he has Parkinson's, you know, and took a little hit. Okay. And I was like, this is the richest moment like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here with my mom. We're sitting under the moon. I'm healing her. You know, we're laughing, and
It's a
I
wealthy
still like
experience.
stuff. I ain't gonna lie.
Of course.
I saw a Rolls Royce SUV. I was like, oh, hello.
The Cullinans are nice.
So we manifest, you know,
for sure.
manifest.
We all like nice things.
That's right.
My thought just came back to me.
Oh, there it is.
So people that say they don't care about money, those are the people that are most full of
Yeah,
crap.
that's
Because if you didn't
yeah.
care about money, you wouldn't work.
Oh, yeah.
You would be homeless and you would just
It's
live a free
listen,
life
We need it. We
doing
need
that.
it.
So money's a tool that will support the
You know
type
what?
of lifestyle that you want to live.
I'm gonna
Money's a
go
tool
one
to help you better yourself in certain ways too.
Yeah.
I'm going to go one step further on that. Money, take it as energy, right? It's actually not a paper coming from
It
one
comes and
source.
goes.
It's an energy. So if you're holding on to it like you're never going to see it again, you're not moving that energy.
Yeah.
I learned this from my friend. He is wealthy. He's got that Tesla that looks like a cockpit and all this, like a big like 64-inch TV screen comes out when he's driving. Like, and I'm like, bro, tell me about your mindset around money. And he explained it to me, and I'm like, I'm off. And you can feel when you're constricting yourself with money. You can feel when you're opening up the gates and you're allowing it to flow. And that's the biggest thing I've learned about wealth is that it is not actually just the dollar; it's the energy of it.
For sure.
Yeah,
And how you use that as well.
absolutely. Because how you use your energies of all kinds, right? Your physical, mental, your financial energy.
100%. And one of the things too is the wealthiest people. Like if you have a lot of wealth, I think like I'm attracted to that because I feel like if I had the most money, endless amounts of money, I can help more people with that and achieve
Yes.
their goals and do like a lot of bigger things. That's like my biggest motivation for like wanting to be wealthy and be completely financially free and have unlimited money.
right.
Like of course, like I might buy a Rolls Royce, I might buy other things like that. But I think if you use it as a tool to,
That's right.
Help people,
Yeah,
teach people,
to assist
uplift
in your
people.
to assist in your path, discovering your path.
You
right?
can help. If you had an endless amount of money, you can help an endless amount of people achieve whatever it is that you set out to do. So that's.
Do you think
that's
some
why I
people
value
start
it.
on that path and then get like, well, I kind of like all this for myself?
I think.
I'm sure that
And then they
happens.
get derailed. I bet that happens a lot. People come in. I think if you have money, you've always had money, you're in that bracket. If you didn't have money, like I know I didn't, so you look at it as like, oh, if I really had this, I would just take care of my stuff, and then I want to help others. Like, where is the law of diminishing returns? Like, do I need Chanel golf balls? Do I? Is that why do they even make them?
Hey, but if that makes you happy,
100%.
then
I'm
yes,
being totally
100%
judgy.
you need.
I'm
you
being
need
judgy
Chanel
right
golf
now.
balls. No, I
Because I saw a
agree.
Kardashian episode, and they had Chanel golf balls. I was like, stop it.
I think it's all based on how you justify
Totally.
things. I mean,
Totally.
that's how I purchase everything. It's all about justification for me.
Really, I just go if it's a heck yeah. Like if it's a heck yeah, I'm all in.
Well, I'm saying justification in
Yes.
ways of I want that, so I should buy it. That
I
kind
love
of
that.
thing, Like
Yeah.
not
It
like
makes me feel
yeah,
good.
like not because I'm gonna think
Are
of no, I'm not gonna think about it like, oh, when's my next paycheck? Like, no, that's not gonna
No, I
that's
love
not gonna
that.
be a reason as to why I do or don't purchase something.
Of course. No, I love that. It comes from our 0 to 7 is when we form all these beliefs. And then we spend 8 to infinity changing them. Right? That's what they say.
I feel that.
Okay, what are some final thoughts, guys, on cannabis?
I love it.
Yeah. Well, how about mic drop? Cannabis, and let's go back to the callback of discovering your path. What would be one thing you want to say about that in closing?
I think no matter what you do, no matter if it's cannabis or any other thing that you want to do and are really passionate about it, I think you first need to start with why you're doing it. I think you should set out clear goals. If you have clear goals about what you're trying to achieve, then strategy and tactics to achieve those become very evident. So I would just say have a clear definition of what's going to make you happy, why you're doing different things that you want to do, and then just be super dedicated and just live out your passion through that.
I love it.
I think cannabis is used to help make the world a better place, make the earth a better place, and people should utilize it as such. And I think it's also made to help people experience and get together and meet new people. And I think that people should utilize it as such as well.
As such as well.
Yep.
I love that.
That's a good episode right there. Cannabis and networking, or cannabis and meeting new people, because that is one thing. If you sit in the floor of a dispensary, you'll see all different walks of life, and it's just incredible that
It brings
this
people
plant
together.
brings people
It's
together
So epic.
from all different, areas. We're all from different places in the United States. We all have really good synergy. We all have really good conversation. Every time I've talked to you, it's always been good energy, good vibes. and it's bringing us. It's literally
That's
because
even
cannabis.
pre-smoke. I mean, if you hadn't seen me when I'm really, it's a whole thing.
So that could be a whole separate episode. But
It
that's
is.
just
Yeah, I love that. Well, and that's the thing about this show. It's not just your basic stuff like cannabis and arthritis. It's like we're expanding the way we talk about it all. So, and I think how we all got here is a big piece of that story. Well, guys, one more time, where can people find you on Instagram?
Rick Renz 702.
Karmokar?
No Karmokar, just Rick Renz 702.
And I'm Erik.extracts.
I love that. And I'm Gia.Kubik. And guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me so much time and for allowing us to expand together. Appreciate
Thank you
that.
for having us, G Money.
Yeah. Oh, I got it one time.
G Money, you're forever G Money now. Changing it in my phone.
Where you guys been? Oh, guys, I am so grateful for the show. And we always start this with a meditation, aligning that all the people who need to hear this have already heard it in some other space-time dimension. And we'll continue to just bless this amazing plant and our world with it. So, welcome to the future of cannabis. My name is Gia. I'll be your tour guide.
You have been listening to a paid program sponsored by Get Elevated. Please be advised that the voices and opinions you heard do not necessarily represent the views of KUNV Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education.